Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Early One. Apparently, we both picked black today.
Yeah, we did.
Was it a black?
Some days we pick the same colors.
I know, it is
Other
weird.
days we're opposites. You don't know, but
Well, the funniest thing was the very first episode we did. We both showed up in polka dots.
Yeah, that was. You can go back episode 1. It's on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. By the Way with Beth and Stacey.
Yeah. So, man, it's hot.
Yes, but I hear the end is in sight, at least for a little bit.
For a minute.
We are going to have a cool off. Like, we're recording this right now in August, and it is hotter than blue blazes out there, and I hate it.
Yeah, it is hot. Yeah, I was worried. Yesterday, Jim was helping Doug Lindsay cut down a tree that fell on somebody's house, and I'm like...
it was a hot day for that.
Yes, and he's out there doing it again today, so it's like, oh, James. But whatever.
I can't... I just don't handle the heat well. I don't feel good. I get a headache. My body hurts. People complain about winter, that their bodies don't feel good in the winter, and that's why they like summer. And I'm just the complete opposite. Yeah. So,
I do the heat
weather.
better than the cold with all this arthritis and stuff throughout my body from working all these years. Cold really make the heat. My body doesn't hurt, but I have to really stay hydrated, or I get a headache real quick. Yeah, I have to really stay hydrated. But I'm kind of tired. We just came off of the All 80s class reunion.
Yeah, how did it go?
It was fantastic. We had a great time.
Yeah, good.
It wasn't the biggest turnout we've had before, but we've been doing the All 80s reunion for quite some time. This is actually the 4th year in a row we've done it.
Okay.
I think the first time was 18.
Okay.
So this was, and we do it we've been doing it every 2 years, but I think we're going to back it off this time and maybe do it every 3 years.
Yeah.
Put another year in there and get more people. We had a really good time. We did it at Nostalgia Theater. The theater was a great place to do it. It was just awesome. We opened up the balcony. Everything's looking really good in there. So fabric came in. Did I tell you?
No.
The black fabric came in for the ceilings. So
we're still working on that building. And for those of you that don't know, it's the Old Town Theater building in Flora. And we have formed a 501c3 Nostalgia Theater Company. And we have been working very hard to try to get grants. And we've gotten pretty much zero. We've gotten a couple small ones from
very
Walmart.
Small.
That's it. And so we need to replace the roof. And it's going to cost us over $60,000.
Well, and that was a 2 year ago.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
And that was also with free labor.
Free labor.
And so, we just don't have the money. But if you would like to donate, look us up on Facebook, Nostalgia Theater Company.
Yeah. So, but it was fun. Yeah, we put the band together. We had a good time with that. We call ourselves Just Above Epic. It's Rob Stokey on guitar, and Rob Stokey lives in South Carolina. Tim Locum is in Phoenix now. He's my drummer. Steve Gregert, that I graduated with, is in Springfield. Then my backup singer, Susan Hagen, is in Texas, and then Beth Corbett is up by Springfield too. So we've been doing that, for a while, and I'm we're just pretty darn good for not practicing.
I got to hear some of it. It was really good.
We're
really good band.
They're very, 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 very talented. They make my job easy because they don't. And the thing about it is if something does happen, like Rob Stokey has the lead on everything. And these guys don't even have anything. I have my music because I have to remember words because I'm the lead singer. So my memory's not what it used to be. So I have words in front of me. But boy, I'll tell you what, there was a couple times there were a couple mistakes made, but we just
covered it up.
Just cover up. Nobody probably would even know it happened.
Yeah, I bet they didn't.
They probably
I bet nobody even knew.
They probably wouldn't know. We all knew, but it was just like we just and I looked at Susan one time and I'm like, go doop.
Just keep going.
We're here. Just keep going. That's the thing about music. If you're a singer or whatever, never stop. Keep going. That's the first thing everybody does is freeze up.
Yeah.
Like what happens? Like, no, just keep going. I've been known to forget my words and make up a whole
line.
That's why I will not sing the Star Spangled Banner without my words.
Yeah.
Because you can mess up.
There's a lot of pressure there.
Every single, because you can make up your own words that nobody knows. Everybody knows the banner, so you got to be able to sing.
But there's times even, I know that song very well, but there's times I'm singing along and I still get tripped up.
Oh, you'll go
the wrong
full blown
part at the wrong time. So I would never, not that I could sing anyway, but I wouldn't. I'm like you. I wouldn't want to have it without the words.
Because if you think about the Star Spangled Banner, every line, it doesn't make sense to the next line. It's like if you even think about the say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Okay, that's the morning. what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming. So last night, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like,
Yeah.
a regular song, that continues on a story. It does, but yet it's very, I won't sing it. I will not sing it. People are like, oh, can you sing the banner? It's like, you got the words. I sing it. Now that Samantha Mossbarger's graduated, I'll probably sing it at every single volleyball game because they don't have a band there and I'm usually there. But Lee Melton's got him. Lee Melton's my friend. Lee Melton, because Jim's been volleyball coaching off and on, and Lee knows that I won't sing it without the words. It's big words. Yeah, I won't.
So no excuses that she left her readers at home.
No, I don't even need my readers for it because he just lays it right there, and I stand on the corner and we do it, and it's a lot of fun. But
that's good.
But yeah, we had a really good time. And the theater. We ended up with some nice donations from people and made a little money off some sales and
good.
Yeah, so
good.
Real happy with it, and everybody loved it. I mean, the more we do in there, even little events like that, the more we do, people are like, "Wow, this is really cool."
Right, and if you
This
haven't
is
been
really
in there,
cool.
you really should stop by and take a look because it is really nice in there. Great spot to rent for an event.
Oh, I sent people down to the depot too because there's so many people that come back. It's like, do you go to the depot? Like I said, go to the depot. You have no idea. Steve and Susie Gregert, he's been gone since we graduated high school, and I'm like, Stevie, you ever been? And he's a retired military boy, and I'm like, go down. There's a whole
Military
hallway. I said, go down there to that depot and take a gander.
We have an excellent depot. A lot of people just drive right by it, don't even realize that there's treasures in there to check out.
There is
Very
treasures
cool.
in there, and Anna's always in there for the most part. The chamber director is always in there, so get on in there and check her out.
Yeah, for sure. So, because of all of this heat, all of my flowers are not looking very good.
Well, we've been on me too. The boil order. My hanging baskets are out. I don't think I'll ever get them back.
I'm not sure my hanging baskets. So for those that aren't in Flora had a major water main break, which caused a boil order, but also caused low water pressure for several days. And then at one point, no water at all at our house.
And we were told not to. And I didn't water my flower. I didn't do anything.
The whole town was told to conserve water. I actually had to wash a load of clothes. It had to be done for Jason's work. And right in the middle of that load, the water quit completely. There was no water. I couldn't wash my hands, couldn't do nothing. And so, needless to say, the flowers in this heat did not get watered.
Yeah.
And now they look really sad. I'm not sure they're going to recover.
Really?
But that's okay because it's August. I'm ready to throw them out. And guess what I'm getting ready to buy?
Mums?
Yes, from the farmer's market. I love their mums.
Oh, I love the farmer's market.
I buy those great big ones that are like 3 different colors in one
yeah.
basket. They're called candy corn.
Ooh, I love those.
Yes, I'm going to go get some.
I'm going to get some. Now, my flowers that are in the ground are still looking really good.
Yeah.
For some reason, but the weeds, for the love of the almighty. So today, after we get done, we're going to probably go get lunch, maybe stop at the courthouse. Then I'm going to go home, put my bathing suit on, get in the pool, get wet like that, then go pull weeds, get hot, get back in the pool, pull.
Yeah. Seriously, why don't you wait a few days to pull weeds?
Why?
It's supposed to be cooler.
I know, but I can't stand them.
Well, I was at your house last night and let the kids swim for a little bit, and the mosquitoes on your back deck were so bad they were like going to just pick me up and carry me home.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Were they eating you alive?
Yes. I had to go sit in the car while the kids swam.
Get out.
No.
Huh.
It was terrible. I think because of the humidity.
Oh, it's got to be.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't know.
But yeah, I'm ready for, Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we got an ad for today?
Oh, yeah, we got an ad.
Okay. It must be a good one.
This ad is fantastic. This ad is from the 1900s.
Okay.
Look at the ad right there, Beth.
Oh.
Wash away fat and years of age. Reduce. Lamar Laboratories, Ltd., Vernon House, 40 Shaftesbury Avenue, London, England.
Man, I wish this was true. Look at how she just shrinks.
No, listen, you got to love this. Okay, listen to it. And it's just soap. Wash away fat and years of age with Lamar Reducing Soap. The new discovery. Results quick and amazing. Nothing internal to take. Reduce any part of the body desired without affecting other parts. No dieting, no exercising. Be as slim as you wish. Acts like magic in reducing a double chin, abdomen. I love this one. Ungainly ankles, unbecoming wrists, arms and shoulders, large busts, or any superfluous what's that word? Superfluous fat.
Superfluous.
Either way, a lot of fat off the body. Sold directly to you by mail. The post is paid on a money-back guarantee. Price is $2 something a cake, or 3 cakes for $4. I don't know what that means because it's whatever. 1 to 3 cakes usually accomplish the purpose. Send postal or money orders today. Surprising results.
Surprising, yeah. Surprising because it didn't work.
Is that not?
I wonder how long they stayed in business with that money back guarantee. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that I would be in the shower all sudsed up with a Snickers.
Yeah.
Is that seriously?
But what a lovely thought.
It is a
that
lovely
you could
thought.
just lose weight by using the right soap.
I'm going to wash that fat right out of my gut.
Yeah.
I'm going to wash that fat.
And you just use it where you need to.
Exactly.
So, you just a little bit here, a little bit there. Let me put some around the waist. And before you know it, you got that hourglass shape. And
I don't know. That might be. I'm going to go have that. I'm going to go have a copy of that made and hang it on my wall.
Oh, yeah.
In that downstairs bedroom.
That'd be
my
good.
Gosh.
Yes.
'Cause I went and took some
It'd be
of
cute in the bathroom, too. Hang that in a bathroom.
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's black and white out in my bathroom downstairs, black and white.
Oh, well, there you go.
That is so, is that?
Yes.
Come on, man.
I want to order some.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Well, it was 19. You think it's still in business under 24 years?
I bet it didn't stay in business a year is what I want to bet, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe longer.
Yeah, I'd be soaking in the bathtub with pizza.
Yeah.
Getting skinny.
Yeah. Just in here getting skinny. Using the right soap. It's all about the soap.
It's all about the soap. Okay, well, on that, we're going to take a commercial ad. A commercial break, but I bet they won't be as good as that one.
Probably not. We'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. So I have an interesting story today to talk about.
Okay, and I don't know what it is.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm clueless on this episode,
yes.
people.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about Henry VanDyke.
Okay.
I mentioned him in another episode.
That
Do you
name
remember
sounds
the
familiar.
episode where we talked about the family that went to Texas on vacation in a wagon?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. They were related to Henry VanDyke. They were kids of Henry VanDyke,
Okay.
I believe, if I remember right. But it wasn't Henry. I don't think. So, okay, so Henry VanDyke was born in Indiana in 1825. So he's a long way back, okay? And he moved to Clay County in 1838 with his father. So they had settled in Bible Grove Township.
Okay.
Kind of Blair Township is where they ended up, Horde, basically,
right.
where there are still a lot of VanDykes.
Mm-hmm.
So Henry and his wife were actually one of the very first members that started the Christian church there in Horde. That old church there in Horde, they started it in 1855.
Oh,
and Henry was also a township official and a commissioner, and he did a lot of things up there. But anyway, this is a story that he told in his own words, and this ran in the Louisville Republican newspaper in 1905. Mm-hmm. So he starts by saying, I was born in Indiana in 1825. My father and mother were born in North Carolina in 1795, which 1795 North Carolina makes you think of Outlander. If you haven't read the Outlander books or watched the Outlander movies, I recommend them. They are a little bit gory, and
it's got its moments, but it is so good.
It's time travel, and it's good.
Yes, I love time travel.
Okay, so his grandfather was a soldier in the Second War for Independence, is what he calls it. But I would guess that to be the Revolutionary War?
I would assume.
The Second War for Independence. I don't know.
I don't know a lot about. I just have to know the basics about the Revolutionary War.
Okay, so he had 3 sisters, and then he had 1 brother. But this story is going to be all about his river boating and going. He took a big trip, and he started on just the Little Wabash River here in Clay County, and he made it all the way to New Orleans. So it's kind of an interesting story. So he says, when his father came to Indiana in 1823, they had nothing like we have today. There was no public roads. There was no schoolhouses, church houses, bridges, nothing. Not a railroad in the whole United States at the time. They would go 40 miles on horseback for a doctor. 40 miles. So, like, put that into perspective. That would be like if you left Flora and went all the way on the other side of Effingham to get to a doctor, but you had to do it on horseback.
Oh, my gosh. Ooh.
They would go 25 miles to a mill, which a mill was important because that's where you got your flour and things like that. Almost every single boy was taught to read, write, and cipher. Cipher is math. He was 13 years old when his father moved to Illinois. But I don't think that his mom and dad were split. I think that she had passed away. I think.
You'll figure it out.
I'm going to figure it out in a minute.
You'll figure it out in a minute.
But I'm pretty sure she passed away and then his dad moved. Okay. So when he goes back to his boyhood days, he can't even believe that he's living in the same world. In 1905, he can't believe that he's living in the same world as what he was in 1835.
I feel that way now.
I know. That's the point
now.
I was going to make. I don't, like, right now, the world that we live in today is nothing at all like the world that I grew up in. And some days it's hard for me to realize that it's even the same world.
Agreed.
But yet, when we look back in history, to us, it's the same world from anywhere from 1800 to 1900 to even 1950, 1960. It all seems pretty much the same. But this guy, he's saying in 1905, when he's writing this, he's like, I can't believe this is even the same world.
Yeah.
So maybe is it something that happens to all of us?
Well, everybody says that it's always generational, but I don't know. I think it's just really bad right now.
Yeah. Okay, so in his neighborhood, there was not a family but what could take the wool from a sheep's back, wash it, pick it, card it, color it, and weave it into cloth, and then manufacture the cloth into garments. So he's saying every family knew how to do that in his entire neighborhood. Take the wool from a sheep's back, wash it, pick it, card it, color it, weave it, manufacture it. Can you imagine that?
No.
Every single family knew how to do that. I mean, that was like the same to them as what it would be for us to cook a dinner.
Right. Gosh.
They had no such thing as store shoes, pants, hats, dresses, or bonnets. Each neighborhood tanned their own leather and made their own shoes. Okay, he says they came to this country in October of 1839, and when he calls country, he's talking about Clay County. In October 1839, crossed the Big Wabash at Vincennes and took the old road leading from Vincennes to St. Louis. That is now what we call Route 50, that old Vincennes-St. Louis trace. He said they followed that road and they began to hunt for the home of Crawford Lewis. He was the father of our respected citizen, William Lewis. Okay, so they're just got to the area, get off of a boat at Vincennes, and then start walking around looking for somebody named Crawford Lewis.
That's odd.
I mean, because they found him in Clay County. So he's all the way in Clay County from Vincennes, but yet they got off the boat and just knew which direction to walk.
Yeah.
And then just asked about, do you know Crawford Lewis?
Yeah, we heard he came through here, and you're not talking. It's not like there's a road right there. I mean, you're
The fact
going
that
through
they found him
the wilderness.
amazes me.
It's shocking that they found him.
Yeah, okay. So this Crawford Lewis made the first road through our township north from Louisville. So Crawford Lewis made the first road through Blair Township. And from Louisville to where he located, which he located or lived 1/2 mile north of William VanDyke's house. I'm not sure where that is, but somewhere in Blair Township around Horde. This road was made by Mr. Lewis hitching 2 yoke of cattle to a large crabapple tree and hauling it over the grass. That's how he made the road.
Okay, back up. Okay, so what?
Yeah.
So he cuts. Okay, so
This is not the way Howell Paving does it, okay? We've all had our experiences with Howell Paving this summer because they've been road construction everywhere.
Right.
But, okay, no, he just hooked up 2 oxen, big old cows, to a crabapple tree, which those are the ones that bloom and smell bad.
Yes.
But they're pretty in the spring.
They're beautiful.
Okay. Apparently, he knocked one of those over
And
sideways, laid it down sideways, hooked those 2 cattle up to it, and was like, "Giddy up, let's go."
Giddy up, let's go. And then that tree just smushed.
It smushed everything down. It drug it over.
I always wondered.
How'd they do it?
I always wondered how they did that.
Well, I don't think that's how Paul Ingalls did it because I never
I
never heard him say
I don't
that.
remember Paul Ingalls ever making a road, Beth.
I know that's one thing they did not do in any of those episodes. Can you
I
believe
know.
that?
Well,
Okay.
we need to go recreate that.
Okay, so while he's talking about the tree being drugged to make the road, yeah, we should, he starts reflecting on another episode in his life, and he kind of gets off course a little bit, but he says, I want to tell you this other story that this made me think of, and it's true, and it's very strange. And he says it concerns Uncle Jack Spriggs of Louisville. And he says, on that memorable night of 1883, Uncle Jack was hunting in our county and became lost in the woods as the night drew on. The place where he was lost was within a mile of where James Ooten lives. That night when night overtook Uncle Jack, he made a very large fire and prepared to just spend the night quietly by the fire.
Oh, my gosh.
He was a little lost, but he was like, I'm just going to start a fire, hang out here till morning, and then find my way out of here. Not so, for there was trouble ahead.
Ooh, what was the trouble?
Soon after night fell, he heard the distant howl of wolves. Yes, we had wolves.
We did have wolves.
We had wolves in Clay County. And
I wonder if we still do have any.
I don't think so. There's enough people out in our woods. I think
Yeah,
they
I
would,
know.
and enough game
Man,
cameras.
wolves are so cool. They'll
Yeah.
eat you, but they're cool.
Yeah, they'll kill you, but
They'll
they're
kill
cool.
you, but man, they're cool.
Okay, so he heard the distant howl of wolves. He well
I'd have been
understood that, and soon another answered, and another, and another, and another. And all the wolf family were duly notified that Uncle Jack was out that night. So within a short time, the visitors,
The
wolf visitors arrived, and they formed a circle around the fire.
Okay, real talk.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how terrifying? Because all you're seeing is glowing eyes.
He's going to talk about the glowing eyes.
Oh my gosh!
He could hear him, and he has this big fire, and they're just trotting around the circle, and then kind of backing up into the woods, and then coming forward. I mean, you couldn't sleep? They'd carry you
Did you
off.
see the movie The Gray with Liam Neeson?
No, I like him though.
I love Liam Neeson. Now, if you watch the movie The Gray, it's about a plane crash and then wolves come, and it's a neat movie, but you might want to watch it because there's a lot of the F word in it, which almost ruined it. It almost made me mad because it was so stupid.
Oh.
They didn't need all that language in there.
Yeah.
But then I watched it on TV, And so the language was gone. So if you can watch it on TV.
Oh, that's good.
But
Okay.
it is awesome, but you don't know what happens at the end.
Okay.
It's one of them. Leaves you
Okay.
hanging. My money's on Liam Neeson, just saying. But anyway,
Okay.
go ahead.
I'm gonna write that down because it
The
sounds
Gray.
like
It is, but you can't watch it with kids. I mean, because they're...
my kids couldn't watch it.
Well, it's got the F word in it a lot.
But if we watched a cleaned up
If
version,
you watched a cleaned up version, you can watch it. Because it was like the F word was in it so many times that I almost walked out of the theater.
Oh.
But because it was Liam Neeson, and I love Liam Neeson, I
you
didn't.
stayed. Okay.
I stayed.
Okay, so we're back with his Uncle Jack
Oh, my
Spriggs,
gosh.
and he's being surrounded by wolves in Clay County, up by Blair Township, just a mile away from somebody's house, but it had gotten dark and he was a little lost.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Jack could see a pair of green eyes whenever the fire would flame up, and he could distinctly trace the outline of the hungry animals. It was a critical moment, he says. One thing that gave Uncle Jack comfort at this moment was the fact that there were plenty of small trees nearby, and he could climb like a cat. So he was a nimble guy. He could climb. He did have a gun with him. He had an old flintlock musket gun, okay? And it was not, it says, was not loaded for any light game, which I don't think it would. I think he has it loaded heavy to shoot something big.
Right.
Well, if you blow that wolf to smithereens.
You got to find the alpha, man.
Yeah.
But how do you know which one's the alpha? The one standing on a stone,
I don't know.
looking down at his pack. Going,
Yeah. Like, you guys are doing a good job.
You guys.
Okay. Finally, he fired into the pack, and the result was one wolf crippled, and then they all left.
Yeah. Usually take one down, though.
Yeah. So
Or make
you
him
say
mad.
that like you know like a lot about wolves.
Hey, I
You watched The Gray. She does know.
I watched that movie. I know what happens. You always take the alpha out, and everybody else goes.
Okay.
Poor little wolf.
Yeah, well, he didn't die. He just got injured.
I know, but then they probably ate him later.
Probably.
They're not-
Okay, so now Uncle Jack thought he would soon be able to rest. Not so, for a greater and unknown trouble was approaching.
Okay, this is our commercial break.
Okay.
A greater
An unknown trouble was approaching. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, if it's not a wolf, it's probably a human being. They're the biggest threats.
Yeah, they're more evil.
They're
aren't
more
they?
evil than wolves. Okay, well, let's take a
Okay.
commercial break and we'll find out what it is.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you could be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We are discussing a story by Henry VanDyke. He was an early settler in Clay County, Illinois, and he had a lot of great adventures. So he's telling the story, and he's been reflecting back a little on a side story he wanted to tell about his Uncle Jack Spriggs and what he experienced one night while being a little bit lost in Clay County. We just got done talking about the wolves, and I left you with a cliffhanger.
You left us with a hanger, man.
Cliffhanger about a greater and unknown trouble was approaching.
Bigfoot.
No, I don't think so.
It wasn't Sasquatch.
No. But he did have his gun loaded for big game.
I was going to
would've-
say he could have taken Bigfoot down.
Okay, so he was looking around for a tree under which he might prepare his bed when the stars began to fall. His first thought was the world is coming to an end. This is the end of the world.
Yeah.
The entire woods, as far as he could see, were on fire, or so he believed. He thought if he could see his mother once more, he would be ready for the conflagration. Conflagration?
What's it?
As an old word, but I think that means ready for Jesus coming
Ready
back.
for the coming.
Yeah. But the world was not destroyed by the falling stars of 1833, and Uncle Jack is still living. So it said 1833, but that was...
So this is the same nights that the wolves just left.
Yeah, I think... might have... Did I say... I want to make sure I have that year right. In one spot it says 1833, and then in another spot in this article it says 1883. But I do know that in 1883 there was a huge meteor storm on the night of November the 12th and the 13th, and it was called the Leonid meteor storm, Leonid, Leonid meteor storm. And I guess it was like a historical history-making meteor storm. So this is probably what he saw. And I guess, I mean, that would be, especially back then, if you didn't know things about meteors, and you didn't know that, like, these storms sometimes happen, and sometimes
the sky was literally falling.
Like, all of the stars that he could see were falling.
Yeah, everything was.
I always want to see something like that. Like,
that would be cool.
You know, a lot of times they announce there's going to be a meteor storm, like, go out and, like, look for it. I have never caught one. I've tried.
I haven't either.
One night when I was like a teenager, I saw like probably 5 or 6 falling stars on the same night when we were out in the country, but that was it.
Yeah.
So I think it would be kind of cool to see it and know that the world's not ending. It's just something that happens. Okay, so that's the end of his little side story about Uncle Jack. Now he's going to go back to 1848, and he's going to talk about Louisville and his trip on the Little Wabash River. He calls it near the present Wast Bridge, W-A-S-T. I don't know what that means. Wast Bridge. But anyway, he's like, okay, picture this. The riverbank is almost full. In the river.
How many years has this passed?
Well, this is in 1848.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I don't know.
It's years past. The
Yes.
wolves and the meteor.
Yeah.
Now
Okay.
we're on the Wabash. Okay. Just
so
checking.
in the river are 2 flatboats. There are no small boats for this river. He said they were big. They were 18 feet wide and 73 feet long. Now, I don't know about you, but I never see any boats in the Little Wabash River anymore because there's so much debris in it and like sticks and like it's not taken, like back then I guess there was enough boats going up and down it that everything kept kind of cleared out a little.
Yeah.
But it's not like that anymore. But can you imagine if you crossed the Little Wabash River Bridge and saw like a 73-foot long boat going down it?
No, I can't imagine it.
But that was how it was back then.
It was utilized.
So one boat is loaded with hickory hoop poles. Okay, so they've taken hickory and made a bunch of hoop poles. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. I don't know what that is.
Well, there are some hoop poles at the depot museum that they used to like catch the mail before there was a depot there. The train driver would drop off packages or whatever as they went through Florida, and the little boy that was standing out there would scoop it up with that pole. But I don't know that that was what these are. I don't know. Okay, and then the other boat was loaded with bacon.
Bacon?
Yum.
Wow.
Yeah, so one boat had this hickory hoop poles, the other one loaded with bacon. It's the first week in March, and John W. Sullivan Sr. is the owner of the hoop pole boat, and Peter Sorrell is the owner of the bacon boat. The crew that was to manage these boats was on this long and dangerous voyage were Whitfield Adams and R.G. Redmond and himself, Henry VanDyke. So he was hired to be crew on these 2 boats that went down the river, and they were going to go to New Orleans. Okay, so it says back then a half dozen houses comprised the entire town of Louisville. So basically 6 houses. That was it. Louisville had. Maysville was still the county seat at that time, and if you had been called to the county seat at this early date, you probably would have seen Mr. McCully holding court in his house in Maysville. And we've talked about McCully on other episodes. We had to wait at Louisville 3 days for the river to fall so we could pass under the bridge without paying a toll. I didn't know that they
there
did
was a toll?
I guess the river, if you couldn't fit under the bridge, you had to pay a toll.
So I wonder how that worked.
Did they
lift the bridge?
Lift the boat up over the bridge?
How'd they do that?
And who was there a little man standing under the bridge asking for a toll?
I don't.
Does this sound like a fairy tale? Remember that guy?
It almost doesn't sound real.
What'd they call that guy? I want to say Grinch, but that isn't it.
Because remember? Why would there even be? We didn't have road. Why would there even be bridges? That's interesting.
It was a toll bridge, and anyone passing over it had to pay from 5 cents to 25 cents.
Wow.
Often men offered their toll in coon, skunk, and possum skins. Like, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't have a quarter, but I have this dead skunk.
I have a skunk here.
I'll give you the dead skunk. And they'll be like, oh, perfect, thank you.
My wife would love that as a scarf.
Okay. So finally on the third day, they set off. And it was fair sailing until they arrived at New Haven. And there they were detained for 21 days. In passing through Clay County, I never saw a human being, and the only relief from the monotony was the flocks of wild turkeys hunting acorns and the howl of the wolves at night.
Oh, man. That is...
Yeah.
Jeez.
So they passed through and out of Clay County into Wayne County and then into White County. And then when they got to where the town of Carmi now stands, he says, I only remember as a boat landing. There was not a town there, no Carmi. It was just a boat landing. But he says, while we were detained at New Haven in Gallatin County, we had all the wild turkey we could eat and a sufficient quantity of it salted and put in the boat to last the remainder of the trip. So about 4 miles run from New Haven brought us to the confluence of the Little Wabash with the Big Wabash. And after we entered the Big Wabash, we had fine sailing. So they finally got off the Little Wabash. For those that aren't from around here, it's very narrow, into the Big Wabash, which is a pretty big river.
Pretty big.
Now, for the first time, some of the crew, we could begin to see the smoke from the steamboats on the Ohio River. And then soon we were sailing on the Ohio, and steamboats were passing up and down the river on either side of us. We seemed to have the right-of-way, as all the boats gave us the current. There was no small amount of curiosity manifested toward us by the crews of the various steamers which passed by. So suddenly they're on the big river.
They're on the
Ohio.
They literally go from nothing to the Ohio River.
And the Ohio can be dangerous.
Yes.
This is springtime when it's flooded, and it's very wide down there where they're at, very wide river. The first place we passed after entering the Ohio was Shawneetown. It was simply a boat landing with a few log huts, the sides of which were covered with coonskins stretched for drying. From Shawneetown to Golconda, there was rough sailing. The wind was blowing a gale from the south, and our boats became unmanageable. We were compelled to anchor. So last week we talked about Cave and Rock.
Right.
And about all the pirates down there and people that would steal your goods. And that was going on. I mean, that was kind of in this time period, some of it. There was always a different gang running it. They were anchoring not very far from there at all.
Right.
I wonder if they felt like they were at risk from being pirated.
Oh, I would imagine.
He doesn't talk about that, but I'm just speculating.
I would think you would every time you were on the boat.
Yeah. Well,
Boat-jacking.
While he was being detained in that area where they had to dock, he decided to get off the boat and work in a rock quarry.
So now they got to make money.
Yeah. So finally, he said, we weighed anchor, set sail, and before long came to the Cumberland River near Smithland. I don't even know where that is.
Never heard of that.
Is that in Missouri?
Smithland?
Or
aren't
Kentucky? I don't know.
I don't know.
We had scarcely quit talking of the Cumberland until our boat brought us to the rushing Tennessee. Kentucky. Cumberland is in Kentucky. Okay. Then he makes it to Tennessee, the Tennessee River. And
can you imagine? I mean, how boring
he's a little
is this
over,
ride?
I know, and he's a little all over the place and he was an old man when he wrote this, but he's talking about Kentucky and Tennessee. But then he comes back to, he's talking about Metropolis, which is Illinois. So I'm not sure, but the Kentucky is on the other side of the Ohio. I'm just not sure about the Tennessee part. Okay. But maybe he means the rushing Tennessee River, and maybe it just comes out right there. And I
would
didn't know
assume
it.
that's what he's.
Okay.
Because they all kind of touch.
Okay. We sailed on and we passed Paducah, and then we passed Metropolis, and then we passed Mound City. And each place was but a boat landing. Soon we reached Cairo, and here we tied up for 24 hours. Cairo at that time left an impression on my mind as being about such a town as Bible Grove is now. Okay, so Bible Grove is a very small town with like maybe 200 people, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's about what Cairo was then, which seemed big to him, whereas he had just went through Paducah, which is now a huge city, and at that time there was nothing at Paducah.
Right.
So it's strange to me. It kind of flip-flopped. Okay, so at Cairo, the Ohio meets the Mississippi. So now it is the Mississippi River, and we had to be more cautious because of the greater number of boats passing us. From Cairo to Memphis, we had nice sailing. From Vicksburg to Natchez, about 50 miles, we had severe weather and a rough river. To the best of my recollection, somewhere near Natchez, Mr. Sullivan sold his boat and cargo. Goodbye, Hickory Hoops. He got them all sold. And not only did he sell the cargo, he sold the boat too, which I thought was kind of strange. But I think it would be really hard to go upstream if you were not a steamboat, but
There'd be no way you could.
Yeah, I don't know.
You'd have to.
So soon the deal was complete. We all boarded Mr. Sorrell's boat. So then after everyone that had been on the Hickory Hoop boat got onto the Bacon boat. Okay. And again, they all set sail for New Orleans.
Everybody's headed to New Orleans.
Soon we arrived at the city, and our boat anchored beside similar boats. Now there were very many strange things to see, and we found the heat so oppressive that we desired to get back on the river.
Okay, so we're going to take another commercial break, and we're going to finish up this very
saga.
interesting saga. Yeah. We'll be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Give me order lumber. Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas,
What?
you better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We're talking about Henry VanDyke.
Oh, Henry's had a life now.
Yeah, he had an interesting life. Okay, so they're all back. They're going down the river. They've landed in New Orleans. They're all on Mr. Sorrell's boat with the bacon.
And they realize it's hot in New Orleans.
What happens to bacon when it's hot?
It sizzles.
It sizzles if it's...
Ew. Oh.
Okay, we're going to talk about the bacon.
Oh.
Okay, Mr. Sorrell was compelled to peddle his meat among the colored people. This is Henry's words, not mine, okay?
Okay, so first off,
this is,
how did they go this far with all that bacon without it getting gross?
I want to talk about that for a minute because I don't know, but I know how Paul Ingalls did it, and he salted... I'm sorry, this is where I get my education. Okay, he salted the meat. So it had to be
super salty.
It was a lot of times he smoked the meat, but if it was like salt pork, it was just like salted and wrapped up. I'm assuming they did something similar like this to the bacon.
Because salt kept it from going yucky?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, okay, Paul Ingalls did it.
But Mr. Sorrell did not.
Mr. Sorrell did not take the time.
By some carelessness, the cargo had soured.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine having a whole boat full of
soured
soured bacon?
No.
And what were you thinking? Like,
No.
of course it was going to sour.
Oh.
Like, take better care of it. Okay.
Ugh.
So it had soured. So I don't know. He doesn't go on to say what he did with it. I guess Mr. Sorrell thought he would still sell it to the black people, which I don't know how that worked out. But anyway, so they all took a steamboat bound for St. Louis. So they got on a steamboat, left New Orleans to go to St. Louis.
Because they didn't like New Orleans.
No, they weren't going there to live. They were just going there to smell.
To smell bacon.
They probably smelled bacon cooking the whole trip.
Could you imagine? So they literally took this trip to sell bacon.
Yes.
And then they got there and they ruined and the bacon was nasty.
Yes.
So now they've made this probably 3-week trip.
No, it's more than that because that one town they were stuck in for 21 days.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So they were gone a long time. I think about 3 months total. Okay. Just to sell the hickory hoops and the bacon.
The hickory hoops and the bacon.
Okay. So they took a steamboat back to St. Louis and they arrived there without any problems. And then to get from St. Louis to Louisville, they walked. They walked it. Yep. And then they walked to Louisville. They arrived at Louisville after a 3-month trip down the water. It was 3 months.
So the thing about it is you got to take in consideration they are walking from St. Louis. Mm-hmm. There's not a Casey's.
No.
There's not a McDonald's. There's nothing.
There's not even
Can you imagine
you don't even have any bacon in your pocket.
You don't have any bacon in your pocket. You don't have, I mean, think about that. Plus, you're going to deal with nature. You're going to deal with Indians. You're going to deal with wolves. Mm-hmm. What a treacherous trip.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I know. Okay.
And then you didn't even make any money because when you got down to New Orleans, you didn't get to sell anything.
Well, Henry probably still made some money because he was an employee. It wasn't his product. They had hired him. But, I mean, so I'm hoping that they still paid him what they told him they would, even though the bacon didn't sell.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's a pretty big if, probably.
And can you imagine, you have to really, those are your coworkers. They're not family. Okay, so how many of you watching have coworkers that you want to spend 3 months straight with without any breaks?
Or showers.
Or showers.
Just
That's when it gets real. Or showers. Okay. So soon after he gets back to Louisville, he marries Jane Williams.
Okay.
She was sister to T.G. and William Williams. William Williams. Okay. But they had 2 kids together, but right after that, she passed away.
Oh.
So then, so that left Henry with 2 kids, Charles and Sarah.
Okay.
But then he married again in 1856 to Sidney Beale Smith, who had 5 children, and they had 5 children born to them. Mm-hmm. So he ended up with 7 kids. William D. and at the time that he wrote this in 1905, only 2 were still living. William D. and J.T. VanDyke. So Henry goes on to buy a quarter section of land in Section 3 of Blair Township for $180.
Wow.
And he lived there for 67 years.
Oh, how neat.
Yeah.
Probably still handed down through family.
Yep. He assisted in making the first roads, the first schoolhouses, and was one of the 5 men who gave $100 each to build that church in Blair Township.
How awesome is that?
Yeah, and I don't know that building there today is the same one that they would have built that long ago, but I'm betting it's in the same spot. Anyway, so that was a pretty cool story about Henry VanDyke, and he still has descendants in the area. So I tried to find the connection between.
Do you have a picture? Did you?
No,
ever find
I
a
couldn't
picture
find
of
a
him?
picture. I looked and looked, and I could not find a picture of Henry. I wanted one, but I couldn't find one. But I do know that, like George VanDyke, many of you may know George. I think he's somehow related to this Henry, but I couldn't find the connection. And I really wanted to call George and ask him, and I ran out of time. But my cousin Heath VanDyke, my mom's sister Lori A. Strike married Tim VanDyke.
Yeah,
and then they have a son Heath, and his middle name is Henry. Heath Henry VanDyke, and I think he was named after someone in Tim's family.
Right.
And then Heath also has a son, and his name's Henry VanDyke.
So they've been continuing that. Oh, yeah, you have
so
to.
there is, I think there is maybe
I
some
bet there
connection
is.
there. So, but I just not 100% sure what it was.
That is a really, what's the title of that?
Recollections of an Old Settler.
Huh.
So, yeah.
The Arena article. That's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, so very interesting to think about going down the river in just a small wooden flatboat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really want to go down the Little Wabash on it, but I definitely wouldn't want to go down the Mississippi on it.
Oh, no way.
But I think people did it.
They did. I think they just traveled to and from all the time. Well, and just think about because like I said, New Orleans would be like a totally different, once they got off the boat, because, they're stopping like in Kentucky and they're stopping in Tennessee and Paducah and Cairo. It's still going to be similar to what they're used to being at, like this area. But once they hit New Orleans and got off the boat, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
culture shock, I bet.
New Orleans is a totally different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been to New Orleans 3 times maybe. It's one of my favorite cities, but it's different. I mean, it is not like, I don't think New Orleans, I'm going to just venture out to say, is nothing like any other city in the United States.
I've heard that.
It is completely different. The architecture is totally different, and it's just really cool. Everybody should take a trip to New Orleans.
Yeah.
But it's not like any other. No, I can't. I mean, I haven't been to every city, but you know what I'm saying. I've been to several, but it's totally different.
Yeah, I would like to go there. I think but I would have to go in the winter when it's maybe not quite as hot.
We went down there. We caught up. My very first trip down there was we went the day before and hung out in New Orleans, and we went in around this time, the beginning of August, and we were catching a cruise ship to go to. I can't remember where we were going this time. Maybe the Bahamas. I don't know. You think it's hot here? It is ungodly hot there. It is. I mean, you can't even explain it. It's almost like you can literally just feel yourself walking through the humidity.
And I don't know how people have lived there all these years.
I don't know. They're just used to that. I guess they're just used to it. And then the swamps.
Yeah,
the swamps are crazy.
Swamps scare me.
Swamps are terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never everybody's like, oh, you ever, when you were down in New Orleans, you ever take a swamp tour? No. No, terrified of snakes. Because, a lot of them swamp tours, I mean, they finally covered some of the boats. I mean, because snakes fall out of the trees.
Yeah.
I would have a heart attack and die.
Yeah.
Not to mention the gators and the...
Right, or just even if it's just a snake crawled into your boat from the water. Like, I don't hate snakes like super bad, but I also don't want them on me.
I'm terrified of them,
and I don't want to worry about falling into the water and getting eaten by an alligator.
Yeah,
and the mosquitoes,
the bugs, slugs.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's awful. Well, that was what was so bad. Like whenever, besides when Katrina hit down there, and we went down in that area too and did a mission trip. You got to take in consideration. When Katrina hit, you were the swamp because it's crazy. Like when you go to New Orleans, it's so weird because the city's like down here, literally. So like we're in this city but you look up and your cruise ship is up here. Because it's like, is that our cruise ship up there? Because then it's weird. It literally is below sea level. And I never did understand that until you see it, you can't get it. So when that hit, the swamp and everything.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So people were literally with the slugs and the alligators and the snakes.
Can't even imagine.
And everything else.
Oh, my.
That was around that area.
Yeah, thanks.
I can't eat. Yeah. And we came across this one, and they've got it marked, and we're just driving down there, and it's like a light pole, and literally, like, you're looking at the light pole, and we stopped at look at because, like, they had marked where the water level was at. And it was like, think about the tallest light pole, and that's where it had flooded all the way up to the top of that light pole.
Wow.
People were just literally, it's crazy. But everybody needs to visit New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on my list.
Definitely do. You might want to go and the cemeteries.
Oh, my gosh. I've seen
cemeteries
pictures
are cool.
and short videos about them. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, just the people, and, I mean. Yeah. The thing about here, I'm going to say this, too, the thing about New Orleans is when you go down, make sure you got your prayer warriors on because it's very...
voodoo.
It's very voodoo-ish. It's very witchcrafty. You know, you need to know who you are when you go. You know what I'm saying? Because it's worth the trip. But you know, we could take all that with a grain of salt. You know, it's just their culture and stuff, and it's so cool.
Okay.
So cool.
So we're going to end this show with Deep Thought by Jack Handy, which are silly and stupid and also hilarious. So
And don't make any sense.
Right. So what do we got for today?
I wish my name was Todd, because then I could say, yes, my name's Todd. Todd Blankenship. Oh, I also wish my last name was Blankenship. What?
Okay.
And then the picture's a hummingbird.
Oh, yeah.
They all have pictures.
Random
thoughts by Jack Handy.
Handy. Yes. Oh, crack up.
Isn't that the funniest
I
thing?
might start saying that one. I wish my name was
I
Todd.
wish my name was Todd.
Yes, I'm Todd Blankenship.
I don't know which one's my favorite. I don't know. There's been some.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Grandpa from on top of the roof that we didn't know about. Yeah.
You got another short one? We might have a minute.
Yeah, we do. Okay, let's listen to this one. If you're an ant, like a critter, an ant. If you're an ant and you're walking along across the top of a cup of pudding, you probably have no idea that the only thing between you and disaster is the strength of that pudding skin.
You probably don't know that.
If you're an ant. You just...
Oh, my gosh. That's hilarious. I wouldn't have thought of that, but
No,
Jack Handy
did.
He did. He
Jack
sure
Handy did. He thought of it. It was awesome.
Oh,
it was
funny.
awesome.
So, anyway.
What's Ty pulling up? What are you pulling up, Ty?
Okay. He's working on
everything.
our next episode.
Everything was scrolling.
But
I'm like,
anyway,
wait, what's that? That's cool.
So you can always find us on Facebook. Like and follow us there. By the way, with Beth and Stacey. Check us out on YouTube. All of our videos are there. Our YouTube page is By the Way with Beth and Stacey. And as always, we're on Wabash Channel 100 daily at 11 a.m. Our new episodes air on Thursdays and Fridays. So
yep. So we're having just a good time with it.
Yeah.
We still wish that we could have if we were live.
Yes, a live
We'd
studio
love to
audience.
do call-ins.
And then I need somebody to say, this show was filmed in front of a live studio audience, you know?
Well, we do have one live audience. Abby's here.
Yeah, we do have Abby. She's our helper.
Well, what we'll do is we'll get an applause sign. And then you can do an applause.
I think applause would be great.
I think it would be absolutely hysterical if we could do just one time. But we'd have to set people up to call us.
Yes, at the right time.
Yeah, that would be funny. I think, and then we still like just set up somewhere and do a live event.
Yeah, that would be fun too.
Yeah, because
we'll
I
have
think
to make that happen.
Jansen had mentioned something about that one time.
Yeah.
Something kind of fun. But well, that's it for this show. That was an interesting show.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
God bless you and have a great day.